I'm pushing entrepreneurship today. Apart from, of course, all the economic aspects, I wanted to give this personal experience to you, that I have been through the process. I have been an entrepreneur in a system that was very much, I should say, not for entrepreneurship, and many difficulties and challenges I faced. That was 20 years back. And therefore, I don't want our young entrepreneurs who are here today, who may be having really great ideas, but just don't know how to move forward, where to go, who to meet. And that is the reason why we have been doing many things to ensure that we improve the overall ecosystem for the entrepreneur in our state. So it started with all these ideas, and in the last 1.5 years, I think all of you are aware, we have been doing many programs to push entrepreneurship. The first thing we started almost about 15 months back was to recognize the entrepreneurs. We all have been through this process. A lot of challenges are there, but sometimes it feels nice when somebody tells you that you're doing great. And just that one word, and especially when it comes from the government and the Chief Minister recognizes you, it really motivates the entrepreneurs. And that is the reason why I decided that we will come out with a program called the Entrepreneur of the Month. So we started selecting different entrepreneurs from different parts of the state, from different sectors, and started recognizing them, giving them a pat on the back and telling them, you're doing great. How can we help you? And this process has been on for 15 months, and many young entrepreneurs, some not so young, some from the agriculture sector, some from the tourism sector, and many other sectors have come forward, and we've been able to really guide them, we've been able to recognize them, and they have been motivation for other entrepreneurs to go into the line of entrepreneurship. And I think that was the beginning of how we started this entire process of focusing on entrepreneurship. The second thing which we did was we ensured that a startup policy would come up. Now I'd like to segregate the classification, I should say, for entrepreneurship that we as a government have realized that we must do. So therefore it's not, there is a level for entrepreneurship in different aspects. For example, we have got the innovators, and that sector is something that is based on the, as I said, is based on innovation and doing different kind of technology-based programs. And so we have called this in the startup entrepreneurs. And these are the areas where we will find very high-end, I should say, technology coming in, and different kind of innovations that may actually change or disrupt, as Amitabh Kant said, the system. So that's one area that we're working on. Second one is nano entrepreneurs we're looking at. These are basically entrepreneurs who may be imitating an idea, where seeing an opportunity that exists in our state, but how to add value to it and create some kind of business out of it, seeing the demand in the market. So those entrepreneurs who realize the opportunity, get a process, involve the process, and just simply get a business out of the entire system are what we're calling an entrepreneur. So these could be somebody who, as I said, starts up a hotel or starts up some kind of a food processing area, seeing that the opportunity exists. And then obviously we're also looking at a third level, which we're calling the livelihood entrepreneurs. And these are more of the self-help groups, small time businesses, somebody who's doing maybe a small piggery farm or a small fishery. So all different kind of small livelihood activities we're calling the livelihood entrepreneurs. So we have the startup entrepreneurs, we have the nano entrepreneurs, and we have the livelihood entrepreneurs. And we are trying to create strategies to ensure that we are able to touch and we're able to help and we're able to guide these different entrepreneurs who will be there. Number two, I think a very important point which I would like to mention out here is why we had this e-challenge. I think it's again, just taking a point from what Mr. Amitabh Kant said. competitions are very important. And if you realize, in our state of Meghalaya and many parts of Northeast, we always have music competition. We always have a dancing competition. And we'll see that a lot of people actually become good at dancing and at singing. And they practice just to be part of these competitions which take place in every village. Any program that is there for any community, there is a dancing competition or a singing competition. So what we feel, that we need to motivate our youngsters by putting these competitions in place. That's why I am also a very, very firm believer in competition. Why not business plan competition? Why not a science competition? Why not a maths competition? Why only a dancing competition? So that is the reason why we decided we're going to have a business plan competition every year. We want people to start getting excited about starting their business. This has been missing in our system, and we want to create that. And I think competitions, big or small, are the ways to motivate and bring this excitement in the system. We will encourage schools to do it. We'll encourage universities to do it. We'll encourage districts, the DCs, the different blocks. You can have your own small business competition happening in different levels and in different institutes throughout the state. And that is the reason why we had this e-challenge competition. 700 people participated in this. This was an online system, and there was a very rigorous process through which we got many participants to be there. There was a pitching session, there was a training session, and I think it was a very, very detailed exercise that was done. And I do take this opportunity at this point to congratulate all the officials and the team that worked day and night, traveled to different districts, and made this competition a success. We simply gave the idea, but the implementation is really what matters. And the team that worked very hard must be given a pat on the back for doing their job with so much of commitment and enthusiasm and energy. So I think this went off well. I intend to continue this e-challenge, and I want to make this an annual event. Another thing, in fact, which I was going to mention at a later stage, but I think this is a good opportunity to mention, is that this challenge of ideas to find solutions, which again was pointed out earlier, is really what is at the crux of everything. Just the other day I had some people who came to me and they were showing me different technologies that they had. You know, I want to integrate all the check gates of my state because I want to bring in a system that is going to have a seamless, transportation for different trucks. And we want to have it online so that we can plug in all the different kind of loopholes that are there and ensure that the revenue of the state goes up. So I had these people who came to me and they started showing me different cameras they have, the different, way in motion that they have, the servers that they have. I said, I'm not interested in the technology. Give me a solution. Tell me what my problem is, then give me a solution that you have for me, and then tell me what technology you're going to use to ensure that I can resolve my problem. So friends, it's very correct when Mr. Amitabh Kant said, you need to be solution providers, not just technology providers. There are problems that we have in Meghalaya which are very different from the problems maybe in Bangladesh or in other parts of the country. Can we find the solutions based on the different technologies that are available in the world to be able to meet and resolve those issues and solutions and those problems and find the solutions? I think it's very important that we must keep this in mind. There are many technologies available. The entrepreneur is the person that will bring these technologies together and ensure that you will help in resolving a problem, finding the opportunity in it, and creating value in business out of it. That really is the way to move forward, and I would encourage all the youngsters who are here to ensure that you move in that particular line. Another thing which we have done for entrepreneurship, which we just inaugurated this morning, is what we call the Prime Hubs. Now these are incubation centers which was being mentioned earlier. So we started our own incubation center down here. And this incubation center is just inaugurated this morning. And again, it's an incubation center like any other one. And it'll be a place where we'll give the platform to entrepreneurs to come in. We will allow different stakeholders to be there. We will have different programs every month where we might bring success stories so that the young entrepreneurs can hear those success stories and get motivated. In those incubation centers, we'll have places where people can sit and discuss and talk about different aspects. So these incubation or prime hubs that we started in Shillong today, the first one, we intend to take it across the districts in the state. So we would like to have these incubation prime hubs in all the districts. And we are encouraging our youngsters to think out of the box. Now, we were discussing with some of our entrepreneurs out here, and of course with our officials. Of course, tourism and agriculture is one area that is a natural area of strength for us. I will speak a bit about it at a later point. But if you look at Northeast and Meghalaya, there are many other areas which we can work on. One of the areas which excited us a lot was music. Now, why can't we have an incubation center for music? Now, I'm a failed musician, just to think. But I was, really excited and interested in music. I used to play the guitar, not that well. But I really was excited. I had long hair, by the way, this much. The normal stuff, the Northeast guys. So we used to be very excited about music. But then, we were simply stuck with our band. We used to sit in the house, we used to jam, and the matter ended there. How do we create value out of music? How do we connect the musicians to the music industry guys? How do we connect the musician to the band guys so that they can create an industry out of this, and they can buy their music equipments, and they can go and record in a recording studio? How do we connect the recording studio guys with the band? And how do we connect them to the world ultimately? Now this needs a bit of thinking. And we are very sure and we are very excited about this, that if we focus on a music incubation center, I think it's going to create huge value. The kind of talent that our people have, somehow it just ends with them, performing on stage for some, show somewhere, and that's the end of the music, dream of these youngsters. So can we create value out of it? Can we connect them to different people? I think we can. And I think this incubation centers will allow these kind of different industries to come together. Fashion. Our people are so good at fashion, so good at designing. Some of our fashion designers design their clothes, it ended up just being part of a show somewhere in some small program or some village or some town, and matter ended there. So why can we not take that talent and take it to the next level? So we want to provide these kind of different platforms for these entrepreneurs and these talented youth, where we'll be able to create an opportunity and link the different stakeholders who are part of that industry to be able to create something more than what those individuals can do separately.